What's up guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going over the 10 worst things that Venom has ever done to Spider-Man, and let's get straight on the list with number 10, the two fought as pigs. Those of you who have looked pretty deep into comic books may already know who Super Ham is. The shortest explanation is that Spider-Ham is an 80s animal parody of Spidey. Well, in 1992's What the number 20, the studio decided to introduce perhaps the pig-themed spin-off's greatest foe. Named Pork Grind, this piggy version of Venom was seen to hold quite the advantage over Spider-Ham during their first encounter. That's putting it lightly, as readers watch their hero be tossed around the panels of the comics while standing no chance against his black suit-wearing enemy. Not to forget that this is the only silly spin-off, but Spider-Ham turns the tides of the battle around eating some spinach, and the almost threatening Pork Grind is defeated. Though he definitely did give Spider-Ham a good beating first. Number 9, Venom made Spider-Man 3 mediocre. Spider-Man 3 was highly anticipated due to the fact that fans knew that Venom would likely make an appearance. Being such a popular character at the time, the writers were forced into including Venom into the script. He originally had the Green Goblin, Sandman, and the Vulture written in, but in the end he dropped the Vulture for Venom. The audience had split feelings when watching the film. Many said that the actor they got was a miscast because he wasn't muscular like the comic book character. Adding on to that, Venom's character development was not given enough screen time to make it a good character. The entire arc felt a bit rushed and crammed, especially with the two other villains in the mix. However, visually, Venom was everything everyone hoped for. It was animated perfectly. Overall, many fans felt that adding Venom might have made the film more mediocre than good. Number 8, Venom makes truce with Spider-Man. We know that over the years it seems that Venom has transformed from a super villain killing machine to the more anti-hero we know today. The reason for this is that in the 1990s, Venom's popularity was so high that people wanted him to have his own series. An effect of this was creating Carnage, a sort of a spin-off. Venom and Spider-Man had to team up to stop an even more powerful being. And even after that, in Amazing Spider-Man number 375, Spider-Man saves Venom's ex-wife. Being thankful, Venom agrees to not go after the web-slinger if Spidey agreed to do the same. Oddly enough, the two agree and part ways. Venom making Spider-Man agree to let him freely roam the streets is absurd. The real reason behind this was to give Venom his own story, but still, doing this basically went against the wall crawler set of morals, and the whole situation seemed out of the blue. Number 7, Venom ruined a close friendship of Spider-Man. In the Ultimate Spider-Man, Venom is created through a cure for cancer that Richard Parker and his best friend Edward Brock Sr. made. Their sons, Peter and Edward Brock Jr., were best friends and eventually meet up in the future in hopes to continue their father's work successfully. It's touching, honestly. Both are orphan children who rekindle in dreams to fulfill lost work. However, once Peter gains the identity of Spider-Man, he puts the research aside, making Edward frustrated and feeling betrayed. He becomes Venom, and the once close relationship they once shared is torn to an unrepairable condition. It might not seem like a whole lot, but considering the damage and consequences this event caused, it's no wonder Venom was one of Spider-Man's worst enemies. Number 6, Venom killed a Spider-Man look-alike. Venom's first main host, Eddie Brock, was unable to continue on being Venom, so he decided to sell the suit to the highest bidder. To the dismay of fans, the buyer was Don Fortano, the mob boss, who then gifted it to his son Angelo. This was quite possibly the least favorite Venom personality to date. Readers simply went on to forget about him, as did this version of Venom. While the other two were still attached, however, Angelo committed his most evil act in killing someone dressed up as Spider-Man, doing so as a public stunt. This awful act leads to a fight between the new Venom and Spidey, but when Angelo tries to flee the battle, the suit feels him unworthy to be the wearer. Because of this, it abandons him mid-flight, and Angelo plummets to his death. While Angelo's time as the villain was incredibly short, he still managed to shock fans for a brief second by making them believe he had ripped the heart out of our hero, ending it all. Number 5, Venom stole Spider-Man's identity. During the time of the massive conflicts of Marvel's Civil War storyline, Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers were able to gain quite a bit of power. This led to their recruitment of Matt Gargan, the recent owner of the Venom suit, who filled in to be the evil Team Spider-Man counterpart. This resemblance was taken a few steps further as Gargan's Venom was given both the Amazing Spider-Man's name as well as the medication to make him resemble Peter Parker in his time in the suits. Gargan's limited control of the suit led to him reverting back to his natural form during fights. Despite this, Venom's time impersonating the Web Slinger made him both a powerful enemy as well as a stain on the Spider-Man reputation. Thankfully, the results were not permanent because it would have caused a lot more trouble. Number 4, Venom forced Spider-Man to fake his own death. If there's anything that superheroes have taught us, it's that true heroes never back down. Or maybe not. In Amazing Spider-Man 347, the Web Slinger is forced to stage his death in order to escape his menacing foe. This plan was forced when Venom launched a car at him, which promptly exploded. This seemed to be the end of our spider-themed hero, and was only further backed by the fact that within the crater, Venom found the spider suit with a skeleton inside. You kinda have to question how the body would have been reduced to only bone, while the costume was left intact. Brock doesn't though, as he goes on to celebrate his perceived victory by lounging on the beach for the next bit of his life. Of course, readers know that this wasn't really Peter Parker's end, as he really used a dug-up skeleton to fake his death while he escaped the near-death situation. While he might have made it out alive, the fact that our hero had to give up the fight and flee means that he lost the fight from moral perspective. Number 3, Venom created Carnage. It seems the power that Venom possesses is so mysterious that when fans saw him spawn Carnage, they were in shock. After waking up from a coma that another supervillain caused, Venom was able to rebond with Eddie Brock while also helping him break out of prison. The only thing is that he left behind a red silver of itself with Brock's cellmate, Cletus Cassidy. Cassidy was a mass murderer who was horrific even without powers. The Red Spawn had found its new host, and little did anyone know, Carnage was born. Carnage and its host are inseparable. Throughout the years, Carnage has proved to be one of Spidey's most deadly and threatening supervillains. We have Venom to thank for that, and even though it might have been an accident, it doesn't change the fact that Spider-Man's worst foe was born. Number 2, Venom uses the Punisher as a weapon. In Volume 2, number 44, Frank Castle, better known as the Punisher, travels to a church around the same time as Eddie Brock, and so Venom hops onto the anti-hero's body. For a while, this is a great turnout for the Punisher, as the extra power this bond gives him allows him to fight crime more effectively. The silver lining only lasts for so long here though, as the suit slowly takes more control of Castle's mind and eventually gaining enough ground to get its host to try to kill Spider-Man. After an intense fight, and with a bit of extra help, Spider-Man fends off the attack and the Punisher regains control of his body and mind. Despite coming out on top, Spidey couldn't have enjoyed fighting his odd villain with some new upgrades. Number 1, Venom creates even more enemies. Did you know that Venom even has more children? When Eddie Brock was held at Life Foundation, 5 new bodies were born from Venom. These consisted of Phage, Riot, Agony, Lasher, and Scream. The idea was to use these to bond with some Foundation soldiers, but obviously the plan failed. The newly born children managed to escape and find new hosts to ultimately attack and terrorize the city. Spider-Man has encountered them on multiple occasions. Venom sure created a whole lot of trouble when he made these similar offsprings. Just thinking that Venom can create even more enemies by sexual reproduction is scary. Good thing Marvel turned him into more of an anti-hero now. And that is it for the video, guys. As always, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Valenplana, and I'll see you all later.